Hello and a warm welcome to Tbcnews. Our top stories. Tanzania steps closer to trachoma-free nation.
I'm told there are very few trachoma cases remaining.
Country's digital and innovation advancement uploaded.
Her Excellency has championed initiatives that have positioned Tanzania as a leader in digital technology in Africa.
Good evening, I am Faida Gaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has assured the United Kingdom that Zanzibar continues to work on its commitment to prevent and eradicate trachoma disease in the country. Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks at the State House in Zanzibar when he met and held talks with the Duchess of Edinburgh, who is in the country for a 5-day visit.
Your role in this is very, very appreciated because we know that most of the donors, those that are giving the money, those that are giving the drugs, we want to take this opportunity through you to convey our appreciation to them so that we can continue the good work that has already been done here in Zanzibar. And we are hoping to reach the milestone. I'm told there are very few trachoma cases remaining. But it is correct that we should continue the good work so that it doesn't come back.
The President of Zanzibar insists that UK plays a key role in the progress made by his country in dealing with virus diseases, vowing that Zanzibar will continue to work with the UK in eradicating other neglected tropical diseases and TDs.
I would very much like to congratulate you and your government on achieving elimination status for the people of Zanzibar with the issue of blinding trachoma. It's a wonderful moment to be celebrated, and I offer my heartfelt congratulations. Hopefully the rest of Tanzania will follow soon. But there is still much work to be done. But I think everybody can be justifiably proud of the achievements that have been made. And of course, with the elimination of trachoma, there are other neglected tropical diseases that are actually being addressed as well. And I think the efforts that are being made are being felt widespread, which is really good. And so many of these drugs that are being used.
Duchess of Edinburgh has congratulated Zanzibar for the steps taken to control the trachoma disease within a short period of time, making Zanzibar exemplary in eliminating the disease, which has become a threat to many countries in Africa. The Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Jerry Silaa, says the country of Tanzania has made remarkable progress in championing digital technology and across Africa through various initiatives such as supporting startups and innovation hubs, building of digital infrastructure and ensuring access to ICT services. Speaking in Dar es Salaam at the US-Tanzania Tech Challenge, the minister added that the US-Tanzania Tech Challenge is focused on promoting technologies that uphold democratic values and principles in the country, and he further commended such technological initiatives for their role in solving various challenges and increasing employment opportunities in the country.
This program is built on 3 core themes, that is advancing democracy and internet freedom in the digital age, countering the misuse of technology, and ensuring that emerging technology respect human rights and democratic principles. Her Excellency has championed initiatives that have positioned Tanzania as a leader in digital technology in Africa. Her Excellency has championed initiatives that have positioned Tanzania as a leader in digital technology in Africa. Her Excellency has championed initiatives that have positioned Tanzania as a leader in digital technology in Africa. Her Excellency has championed initiatives that have positioned Tanzania as a leader in digital technology in Africa. Key among these efforts is the establishment of 10 years digital economic strategic framework, which among other things contain building a digital Tanzania through various innovations led by young innovators to accelerate economic growth and social development. Our Excellency's commitment to digital inclusion has been further demonstrated through the launch of programs aimed at expanding broadband infrastructure, enhancing access to ICT services, and improving digital literacy for all Tanzanians, especially among women and youth.
Furthermore, the Deputy Chief of Mission from the U.S. Embassy, Andrew Lentz, commends the amount of innovators that showed up to participate in the U.S. Tanzania Tech Challenge, noting that Tanzania had the highest number of applicants worldwide, while the UNESCO Head of Office and Representative to the United Republic of Tanzania, Michelle Toto, emphasizes on the critical role of partnerships in support of information literacy.
The winners are going to be able to get some good seed money that they can use to grow their businesses, to create new ideas and new innovations. So that's one thing. The second thing that is exciting about this U.S. Tanzania Tech Challenge is the opportunity for people in the same space, the digital innovators, to get together and to share ideas. And you know what happens when people get together and share ideas and talk. New ideas come up. And new innovations are created. So there's a networking benefit to this event as well. And the United States government, through the embassy and our partners at the State Department in Washington, D.C., we are committed to long-term support and nurturing of the winners of this Tech Challenge, but also just in our continued engagement on a day-to-day basis.
UNESCO is proud to have been a part of this journey alongside the U.S. Embassy and all the partners. Together, through this challenge, we are not only fostering innovation, but also empowering individuals, particularly young people.
The winner of the U.S. Tanzania Tech Challenge 2024 has received $250,000 which will enable them to further expand their innovative business. In other news, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. John Jingu, says the government takes seriously the global commitment to eradicate trachoma disease in every district of the country, highlighting that among 189 councils across the country, there are only 9 councils that still have the problem. Master Kingo has more.
He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during a special reception organized by the UK Embassy in Tanzania and hosted by the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, who is in the country for a 5-day visit.
But I would say, of all the councils, local government councils, which we have today, you know how many are they? 184. Currently, we have, I would say, a problem in 9 councils only.
Earlier, Duchess of Edinburgh had a message from His Majesty the King on efforts to eradicate trachoma and other neglected tropical diseases.
I'm very pleased to be able to share a message with you from His Majesty the King. It reads, as patron of the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness members' Sight Savers, and knowing that the Duchess of Edinburgh is with you today in Tanzania, I particularly wanted you all to know how full of admiration and gratitude I am for your passion and devoted efforts in treating and preventing neglected tropical diseases, especially trachoma.
On the other hand, the UK ambassador to Tanzania, Marianne Young, explains why Tanzania and why trachoma.
So Tanzania is a key Commonwealth partner. The Duchess first came here 20 years ago. It was one of her first international trips in her role. And it was in fact here in Arusha that she saw her first trachoma operation. So she's chosen to come back to Tanzania, having heard what huge advances the country has made.
Some of the working partners and participants remain positive.
I am absolutely confident that it can be done. You have the political will here. I mean, I have seen the President of Tanzania stand on a stage and make commitments on neglected tropical diseases, of which trachoma is one.
Again, through the UK support, we've been able to implement various programs in the 8 regions of Tanzania mainland as well as Zanzibar. And through this support, we've been able to support the government of Tanzania to review and develop national guidelines and curriculums.
So, the Duke of Edinburgh is an international program where students from 14 years to 24 years old participate in giving back to the community, volunteering, and learning some skills. So the program connects people from all over the world.
It is a special reception to celebrate UK and Tanzania partnership in health. And the guest of honor in this reception is the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, who has been here in the country. Her focus has been on 3 key areas: health, agriculture, and women empowerment. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Nasa Kingo, TBC News.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Water, Energy and Minerals of Zanzibar, Joseph Kilangi, urges the private sector to take advantage of the public-private partnerships opportunities in the energy sector to boost access to alternative energy, which will enable the effective execution of economic activities that depend on electricity. He made the remarks in Dar es Salaam during a panel discussion involving his ministry and the private sector, aiming at attracting more financing and investment in the country's energy transition.
We have many projects. We have a project in Zanzibar. We have signed a 2 PPA. Of course, it is in progress. But even the World Bank has engaged on renewable energy, whereby it's going to put the plant of 18 megawatts solar plant with the battery storage. But in the mainland as well, as I said, we have Kigoma. This is a plant which is operating under the solar. But also we are looking at other investors to come in to chip in a windy projects in different areas. As you know, Tanzania, we have a very good wind speed. Normally, the turbine needs only maybe 5 meter or 6 meter per second wind speed. It is enough to generate power.
A lot of stakeholders involved in the energy sector have been convened here so that we discuss and see how in the ongoing investments that are going on in the country, how much can we do in order to attract investment and also cater for the energy needs for the investments that are going on in our country.
On the other hand, the Deputy Executive Secretary of the Tanzania Renewable Energy Association, TAREA, Imalaswai, asserts that more financing is needed in the renewable energy sector, urging the government to put in place more incentives that will attract more investors from the private sector.
As a private sector player, we see there's huge potential. We have policies. I know energy transition comes with a lot of demands and requirements. There are new technologies, maybe that were not in our energy policy. So it is a call to the government to better position. We have energy policy of 2015. Maybe there might be some need for some review. And also we have some regulations and guidelines for other existing technologies, but maybe some technologies might need their own regulation or guidelines, at least for investors to be comfortable to invest in our country.
The discussion is a part of the 3-year project led by the United Nations Trade and Development Organization to attract more financing and investment in the Tanzania's energy transition projects, such as renewable energy and green technologies. In other news, the Chief Justice of the Court of Tanzania, Professor Ibrahim Juma, says that the introduction of modern information and the application of artificial intelligence in judicial matters will increase efficiency and operational quality of the courts in Tanzania. He made the remarks during the opening of the discussion on case management system in Tanzania held in Dar es Salaam. Peter Mganga has more.
The discussion brings together legal experts aiming to discuss ways to ensure access to judicial information through various systems, including Tanzli. Here, Chief Justice Professor Ibrahim Juma explains the contribution of artificial intelligence towards efficiency in matters related to justice.
We have also installed a translation and transcription software in 11 courts, meaning now somebody can speak in English and then you can go and get a Swahili translation. So it makes justice accessible to the people. So there is a lot of room which artificial intelligence can facilitate access to justice in Tanzania.
On the other hand, the program manager of GIS, Katarina Kuhan, explains the contribution of sharing ideas with local legal specialists.
For us in our work on rule of law and access to justice, of course, we think that having access to the information, having access to legislation, having access to judgments, and actually being able to search a database of judgments according to what you want to find, according to the information you need, really is the prerequisite for the rule of law, because only like this can people understand what the laws in a certain country are, how these are interpreted through the courts by judgments.
More than 40 participants attending the meeting to discuss way forward on engaging the public on the use of modern legal systems. Peter Mganga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
Now let's have a look at the health sector, whereby Health Minister Jenista Mhagama says the government will continue to carry out an integrated plan for health workers at the community level in the country. The Health Minister made the commitment in Dar es Salaam, insisting that through the program, the government has put in place the right procedure to find qualified workers to implement integrated health, nutrition, and social welfare interventions.
Na hiki ni kipimo kwa ajili ya kuwabaini watoto wenye udumavu.
This is a measurement for identifying children with stunting, and it is a very simple assessment. When a child is measured on the arm, it is determined whether they are progressing well, whether their growth is normal, or if they are stunted. They'll be trained on this measurement. It is very easy to carry out. We'll provide them with the necessary equipment and clothing as well.
On the other hand, the executive director of the Benjamin Mkapa Institute says the stakeholders will continue to cooperate with the government in training health professionals at the grassroots level.
So today we were very glad to hear from the Minister for Health that the program that we've been implementing together with the leadership of the government through the Minister of Health has made advancement as well in terms of selecting community health workers. The community themselves have been selecting the people that they prefer to become the community health workers, and now we're in the process of going to train them. So the ones that have gone through the first phase will be around 9,400 community health workers will be trained within the country, and we are also proud to see that Mkapa Foundation is also going to support almost 50% of those 9,400 community health workers.
In the first phase, the government has started implementing the plan in 21 councils within 11 regions in the country. Proper training to local veterinary professionals will improve health measures to prevent and treat animal diseases and improve the quality of livestock products, making them more competitive worldwide. The remarks have been made by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, insisting that the country targets to export meat up to 20,000 tons per year. Emmanuel Samuel reports.
The Permanent Secretary, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, made the remark immediately after closing their training that aiming at building the capacity of veterinary professionals to deal with animal diseases.
And you know vaccination is one of the requirements. If you want to access any foreign market, the first thing that they will ask you, do you do vaccination to your animals? So this is a way that we are actually showing the world that yes, we do vaccination and we train our people, our personnel who are in the field to do all this. So we are hoping that by having this known, we will even move higher from the 14,000 that we have to above 20,000, 30,000 to 50,000.
On the other hand, the representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, Dr. Stella Kiambi, and the USAID Representative Anne Murphy have their comments concerning the training.
The work that we do in veterinary services plays a vital role in preserving and enhancing animal resources, directly contributing to poverty reduction and enhancing food security on a global scale.
I think we have seen over the past few years the impact of
unchecked zoonotic diseases in certain areas and the devastation that reaps across the world. We're also committed to economic growth at USAID, and so are very proud to support a project that works to help farmers.
The beneficiaries of the training insisted that the knowledge they have gained will help them in collecting important livestock information for the health of the people.
Through this training, we have get a lot of knowledge which can add value, especially to the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries and the country. And we expect we can improve or we can move on in exporting of meats and meat products, and we can get a lot of money to the ministry and to the country.
Even though in Zanzibar we expect more, because of an island of tourists, we expect much on importation rather than exportation, but for this training, this will allow us to improve.
More than 30 experts from mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar have benefited from the 4-month training, which aims to improve the provision of health services in the livestock sector. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Now, before we wind up local news, let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled and read to you by Lulua Muhammad.
Colombia's government has suspended peace talks with the rebel group National Liberation Army, ELN. It follows an attack by the group that killed 2 soldiers and left more than 24 troops injured in the Arauca region on the border with Venezuela. The attack was the worst in months by the last standing rebel organization in the country, and it comes at a critical moment in the fraught peace negotiations between the group and the South American government. 3 Portuguese firefighters have died in one of the dozens of forest blazes ravaging the country, bringing the death toll from the recently erupted wildfires to 7 people since Saturday. According to the Portuguese authority, the country is fighting more than 50 active wildfires on its mainland and has mobilized about 5,300 firefighters, as well as calling for European Union help. The Portuguese National Guard say that they have arrested 7 people suspected from starting the fire. And volunteers and emergency workers have raced to secure riverbanks in the historic Polish city of Wrocław, as residents elsewhere in Central Europe have tallied the cost of floods caused by Storm Boris, which have wreaked havoc and killed at least 21 people. The deluge has left a trail of destruction from Romania to Poland. While waters were receding in many areas, others were nervously waiting on Tuesday for rivers to burst their banks.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports, the National Sports Council says that it will continue to closely oversee the boxing industry in the country to ensure it delivers positive results for both the boxers and the management. Speaking to TBC News, the Council's Executive Secretary, Neema Msita, says the government's efforts are focused on revolutionizing the boxing game as there are currently many issues affecting the sport, insisting that the government is committed to address the challenges facing boxing.
Now we are working closely with that interim committee to make sure that they create the institutional framework, the guidelines, the constitution, the directives, so that they can stand strong. Because without these guidelines, you cannot operate properly. So that's what we are trying to do, to make sure that the regulatory board stands with its feet.
As part of these efforts, the National Sports Council has already held a meeting with leaders in the boxing field to explore the best ways to develop and advance the sport. In other sports news, the Tanzania Motorbike Sports Association has developed a comprehensive plan to ensure that Tanzania performs well in the African Motocross Championship, which is set to take place from the 25th to the 27th of October in Morocco. Speaking to TBC News, the association's spokesperson, Dennis Rugemalila, says that thorough preparations are ongoing for Tanzania's riders ready to showcase their utmost talents.
Tanzania is invited. We are one of the invitees to this tournament, and we are expecting to take between 3 to 8 riders to these challenges in Morocco, October 25th to October 27th this year. And we are very glad that at this point the riders from the regions, from the clubs of the regions, and from the regions without clubs are ready. They've prepared themselves. They are preparing themselves as we speak, and we think we're going to have an event, a tournament event, whereby we're going to have 8 riders to represent us. From that tournament, we expect to see many riders from the regions to Dar es Salaam, where this tournament will take place between end of this month and mid next month.
The prestigious African Motocross Championship is expected to boost the game in the participating countries, and Tanzania is ready to maximize on the invitation. That's it for sports. Now, before we wind up the news bulletin, let's have a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, dear viewer, and welcome to the next 24 hours forecast starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. Wind is expected to flow at 20 kilometers per hour over the entire coast and the Lake Nyasa. While over Lake Victoria and the Tanganyika, wind speed is expected to reach 30 kilometers per hour. And the side of the sea is expected to be slight. Our rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over a few areas, especially along Lake Victoria Basin and the entire coastal areas. And tonight, a few areas, especially in Kagera, Geita, Mwanza, and Mara regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunderstorms, while the remaining regions are expected to feature just the partly cloudy conditions. And tomorrow, few areas, especially along Lake Victoria Basin, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers, and sun periods. While in Arusha, Kilimanjaro, northern coast, and the southern coast, we are expecting to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. And the remaining regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and sun periods. And now, let's have a look on the next weather forecast over some regions of our country. In Dar es Salaam, especially on 24th, we're expecting light rain showers over a few areas. Dodoma region, sun periods is expected, and the minimum temperature is expected to be 15 up to 16 degrees. In Mbeya region, minimum temperature is expected to be 12 degrees. In Mwanza region, we're expecting thunder showers, especially on the 21st and the 2nd. In Kilimanjaro, minimum temperature is expected to be 17 degrees. In Morogoro region, we are expecting minimum temperature to be 18 degrees Celsius. And in the Arusha region, minimum temperature is expected to be 15 degrees Celsius. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I am Faida Ngaga. Good night.
Unyevu husaidia kurekebisha ngozi yako kila mara. Bila kipimo sahihi cha unyevu kwenye ngozi yako, uwezekano wa matatizo kwenye ngozi yako huweza tokea. Vaseline Healing Jelly Original imethibitishwa kimatibabu kusaidia kuponya ngozi kavu. Anza kutumia Vaseline kama hatua ya kwanza kuifanya ngozi yako ya asili kuwa na afya nzuri.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.
Assalamu alaikum mtazamaji wa TBC1 ukweli na uhakika. Karibu katika kipindi maalum tukiangazia uchaguzi wa serikali za mitaa. Ukizungumzia serikali za mitaa unazungumzia kitu muhimu sana katika mustakabali wa taifa, kwani ukiachilia mbali uchaguzi mkuu ambao utafanyika 2025, huu ni uchaguzi wa awali ambapo mambo mengi yatafanyika hapa, kuanzia chini kabisa huku tarehe 27 Novemba 2024 mambo yote yatakuwa hadharani. Mimi ni Lidi Kambaya. Katika hili tunatazama vijana na uchaguzi wa serikali za mitaa. Vijana na uchaguzi wa serikali za mitaa. Mimi ni kijana, lakini pia nimealika vijana wenzangu kulitazama hili kwa pamoja. Nipo na